So we have the prospect of cheaper loans, but not as cheap as we thought that they would be. Italy is in conflict. Price-to-book values in Italy are challenged relative to the US peers. Is there anything about banks that you'd like to buy?
I think at this point we're steering clear of bank equity, but I think what is perhaps more interesting is moving up the capital structure a little bit and look at the bank contingent convertibles. We think that's paying you effectively equity-like returns even on some of the higher quality banks on the continent.
Yeah, Norman, that fits in with what you were telling us earlier, where you do quite like convertible bonds in general. In this environment of lower for longer, though, and with what the market is pricing, particularly with Fed rate cuts, where are you searching for yield?
Well, I think where we're searching for yield are, one, as we point out, contingent convertibles on the continent. I think if you're looking for lower risk opportunities on the continent, we like Danish mortgages for euro-based investors and even Swiss franc-based investors. And then stepping out of that for people who are looking for a little bit more risk, we are looking at event-driven type of hedge fund strategies, which make a good surrogate for people who are diversifying away from, say, credit exposure in their portfolios a bit.
One of the things that our Bloomberg intelligence team have been writing about is the weakness in certain currencies, the Swedish krona and in sterling, 6 to 8% year over year. They could mitigate the weakness economically in some of those economies. As you differentiate where you might want to take more opportunity, does the UK feature in that because of the inherent currency weakness that we have at the moment, or for that matter, in the krona, as BI mentioned?
Yeah, look, in the UK, from an equity perspective, the weakness of sterling, and we think the sterling continues to weaken from here, that obviously plays well to a lot of the exporting names that are listed in the UK. I think if we flip over to the continent and we look at the euro, I think the challenge for Europe is they really have nothing to offset the strengthening of the currency, so there's not a lot of easing coming out of the ECB. But fortunately for them, the domestic economies on the continent and the domestic consumer remains quite strong. So I think domestically oriented plays on the continent are attractive.